Good evening and welcome. We're going to start with a worship song of Cornerstone, so you can stand with us and join us. For scripture tonight, I will be reading Philippians 4, verses 4 to 8. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known to everyone. The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. As we come to time of prayer this evening, I just want to remind you that Carolyn Eisenhower was in the hospital today and getting some testing done, and she will be undergoing triple bypass surgery, I believe, tomorrow. And so you can keep her and Frank in your prayers. And also Lydia Fenical is having some testing done, and I guess if everything comes back clear that nothing is no bacteria is growing or anything, that she would come home tomorrow as well. So we'll remember her in our prayers as well. Are there any other prayer requests? If not, join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for another opportunity we have to come out and to worship you. We thank you for your goodness and your kindness to us. Father, we think of the needs that are among us. We think of Carolyn as she is going to undergo surgery tomorrow. We pray that you would be with her, Lord, that you would guide the doctor's hands, give them wisdom as they minister to her physical needs. God, we know that you're in control, and we just pray that you would hold her in the hollow of your hand. Father, we also pray for Frank, that you would comfort him and just give him peace and assurance, knowing that you're in control. And may this maybe be an opportunity where they rely on you and are drawn closer to you through this. Father, we pray for healing. Lord, we also think of Lydia and the test that she's undergone, and just pray that you would be in the midst of that situation, be with her parents, as I'm sure this is extremely stressful. I just pray that you would calm their fears and calm their anxieties. Lord, that you would give them peace and rest as they are in the hospital tonight again. Lord, there are many other needs, physical, emotional, spiritual, and you know each one. Lord, we thank you that you are an intimate God, that you are in every aspect of our lives, Lord, and that we can rely on you. And just pray that you would continue to guide and direct us. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you for coming out this evening. I'm happy to welcome Jerry Mitchell. He will be sharing this evening on internet and cyber safety. And he is a specialist agent who works at the Attorney General's office. So I don't know exactly what all that entails, but I'm sure he can fill us in a little bit more. So welcome, Jerry, and thanks for coming.
I think now we can uncover that. Good evening, everyone. I want to say up front, it's been a while for me. Get busy with life, and I really have no excuses. I haven't been, personally, haven't been to church in a long time. After singing along with you, your opening song, I know I'm going Sunday. So it worked. So thank you. Thank you. Everybody needs spiritual enlightening. Everybody needs some spirituality in their life, and that's me personally. I was raised like that, and if Mom knew I hadn't been for a while, the belt might come back out, and it's been a while for that too. So having said that, once again, good evening. I am a specialist agent with the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General, bouncing in between 3 divisions right now, helping out with consumer protection, criminal investigation, and education and outreach. We work with our communities closely throughout Pennsylvania to help educate, help raise awareness, make available our resources to the communities throughout Pennsylvania. And our Attorney General, Josh Shapiro, who's been in the news pretty much a lot lately. That was good and booming. Who's been in the news a lot lately. He wants to make sure that we are helping communities throughout this state deal with various issues, and again, making sure that the state is aware of these issues. And since we are the leading law enforcement agency, we are the FBI for this state. We want to make sure their communities know where they can reach us, how they can reach out and get resources from us. In the back there is a brochure on the, as you walk in, there were brochures there, and I think most people got them, but if you missed them, there are brochures back there about what we're going to be talking about this evening. And cyber safety, cyber security. So I think if you didn't get one, if you raise your hand, I think he'll give you one of the brochures now. So these brochures are going to help encompass a lot of what we're going to be talking about tonight when it comes to cyber safety and apps, social media, the whole smash. If you're like me, or if you're, I'm an 80s baby. My glory days were the 1980s. Look, I'm a Hall & Oates, Wham, Culture Club, George Michael's kind of guy. If you're like me and you didn't grow up with this, or even the generations before mine, and a little bit after mine, you didn't grow up with technology. You know, we had to learn it. Versus our kids today, they were born into this world of it. They were born into the world of IT. We have kids nowadays that are coming out of daycare knowing how to change passwords, knowing how to code, knowing how to manipulate technology because it's a touchscreen world. This is all they know. And with so much that is given to them, and personally, I think they've been given too much too soon. But you can't put the genie back in the bottle. It is out there. 24-hour access to the news cycle, 24-hour access to social media, 24-hour access to this stuff. So now it falls on us, the adults, to make sure that we help govern this, to help make sure that they don't fall into, some ugly circumstances in their utility of it. So that's why we're here tonight. When we are talking about social media, and we're talking about parents, kids, technology, everything all happening at the same time, you notice the different images up there? Each one is going to represent something different tonight and what we're going to discuss. And again, what we can do and what to be on the lookout for. And I'm going to give some real-life examples. Everything I'm telling you, the examples, all this stuff has happened. I've seen it over a 20-year career. It started with the government, 1998. I was with the Auditor General hired by Bob Casey, who is now our U.S. Senator. And I came over to the Attorney General's office 5 years ago. They were like, Jerry, with your background in IT, we really need you over here helping our community versus helping out accountants all the time. Overnight decision, to make a long story short, I've been an agent ever since. There we go. Does that look familiar? Is that like a familiar look for a lot of folks? When it comes to their kid or it comes to the young adult in the family, you talk to them, you may be asking them about their day. You may be talking to them about an issue. And they have got their head buried in their device. And you're just like, hey, what are you doing there? Oh, nothing. And they're just basically, do you hear what I'm saying? Do you acknowledge me in the room? And they may acknowledge you, but again, their lives are on their devices nowadays. When it comes to these devices that our young ones have been given, or we give our young ones, so much of this pretty much starts off with this right here. So let's talk about social media and devices, apps, watches, everything, under the umbrella of passwords right now. If we've given our kids devices, do we know their passwords? If they have social media accounts, do we know the passwords to those social media accounts? In most cases nowadays, and this is the truth, most kids have 2 social media accounts. If they got a Facebook account, trust me, there's the account that you know about, and then there's the alter ego account. That is just standard nowadays for most kids. College, middle school, and high school. Most kids out here nowadays have 2 social media accounts. There's the one mom and dad know about, and then there's the one where they are hashtag the next LeBron James. Hashtag Mr. Cool or Miss Cool. That's their alter ego. So when it comes to the passwords that govern this stuff, we remind the public to please know these passwords. Here's why. Here's the scenario. It's Monday. Monday afternoon. Kid's supposed to come home. Where are they at? Maybe they're at a friend's house. Monday evening. Hey, I haven't heard from my kid. Now the parent's worried. It's getting late. It's getting 10, 11 o'clock. I haven't heard from the kid. Parent is freaking out. They call the police. The police goes, okay, were they on social media? Well, I know they were on Facebook a lot. I know they had some different accounts. Okay. Do you know the passwords? Do you know the usernames or anything like that? No, I just know they were on a lot. Okay, now a court order has to be issued to get access to this information. A court order has to be issued. Folks, courts do not move, rapidly in so many cases. You got to find a judge. People are asleep. People are, handling their own personal affairs. A lot of different things are going on. So it's not always easy to get a court order, to get information to help get that password, to get the warrant. So now they got to go get the warrant, and that can take anywhere up to from a day to 3 days. Well, what could happen to a kid in 3 days? There's not one person in this room or outside this room who wants to find that out. And that's why we really implore the public to know the passwords that govern the kids' devices, to know what they're doing. Again, kids are secretive by nature. We were. When you were a kid, you were secretive by nature. Goodness knows, I kept a lot of secrets from my mom. I still won't tell her about some of the things I did back then. Once again, the belt. But anyway, kids are secretive by nature. Sometimes you want to do a phone check. You may want to do a device check. You don't need their permission to check the device that you bought from them. You want to know what's on there. But do you know the password to it? Is your thumbprint or your fingerprint, is that part of the security lock? So I could put my finger right here on that device and unlock it. Is that you? Do you have your fingers or your thumbprint or your fingerprint included in there? That's part of the password. That's part of the protection. Are you included in that? And when it comes to the information that they may have on their devices, well, what could they have on their device? Oh, the world of apps. Let's start off with the world of apps. First one up there, let me pick a little bit on this young crowd right here. You guys are young and you're really smart. So, first one up there is what? Thank you very much. Snapchat. Number one app used for under 30 in the world right now is Snapchat. Snapchat, between that and Fortnite, they are rocking the nation. Oh, yeah. Who in here has a social media account, by the way? Who in here has got a social media account? Okay. All right. Snapchat. And I asked some kids one time, last school year, Middletown, I asked a group of kids, why do you guys like Snapchat so much? I got a lot of different reasons, filters, different, how you can chat on it, a lot of different techniques. One stuck out. One young lady to my right, she said, I like it because mom and dad don't use it. That was her number one reason for why she likes Snapchat. Facebook and all that, yeah, mom's on Snapchat, on Facebook. Mom's on those. But Snapchat, nope. So that's the number one reason why kids love Snapchat. Facebook is still king of the mountain. 2.2 billion users around the globe. So Facebook is still king of the mountain, gobbling up other companies as they go along. And case in point, well, Twitter, not far behind it. There are probably like 1.6 billion users. Twitter, all this stuff exploded. And by the way, this hasn't been around very long. You would think social media has been around 20 years, 25 years, 10 years. And that's just for like the stalwarts of Facebook and Twitter. Snapchat and these other guys, 4 years, 5 years. It hasn't even been around that long. Your car is older than a lot of these social media accounts, or our cars are. Instagram, that's the last one up there on the first row, owned by Facebook. So if you have an Instagram account, you could easily just go inside of it and register with your Facebook account. And that's the way it works. Tumblr, that is photo and media heavy. That kid, 2004, he started, he was in high school. He's like 17 years old. He was on to something, and he knew it. This kid was really good. And I just looked him up the other day, just looking up some information, because I was near his office in downtown Manhattan. This kid was on to something. He's like, look, I got to get this company started. I don't got time for high school right now. This kid dropped out of high school. He's now worth $800 million. He's 32 years old. Where did I go wrong? I don't put a premium on money, but, a trip to Australia would be nice. But this kid started Tumblr, so now it's photo and media sharing heavy. Kik, some apps out here, let me explain some things and educate you when it comes to some apps. Like a walkie-talkie. If I gave you a walkie-talkie and it's pretty much peer-to-peer. So when you hear peer-to-peer, that's like person-to-person. Okay, that's how some things like Kik work, where you can just basically log on and talk to, one-on-one. But now the way it works and how they up the ante with it, like Kik, for example, okay, you can also bring in this person, this person, this person, this person. So you can have group conversations. A lot of folks do it. A lot of apps do it. The degree of separation in apps nowadays is just basically going to be, in so many cases, cosmetic. A lot of them are doing the same thing. You're going to be able to text. You're going to be able to video stream. You're going to be able, or video conference. You're going to be able to do a lot of the same things. Email, instant message. It's just the look of how they're doing it. It's like going to Kohl's, Target, or Walmart. What is the difference? The sign on the building and the greeter, like me, when you walked in here, right? But, they all sell the same product. But it's all about packaging. It's all about presentation. Same thing with your apps up here. They're pretty much all doing the same thing, but it's all about presentation of how they're doing it. My point is this. When it comes to technology, when it comes to apps, if you learn just a couple of them, you'll get the gist of a lot of them are out there. And we do encourage folks to go out there and just invest a few minutes on YouTube. What is Snapchat? Just look at a video that lasts about 2-3 minutes. What is Snapchat? What is Instagram? And you'll get the gist and understanding of it. So that when you talk to the younger ones, well, they won't be talking over your head, because right about now, this is their superpower. This is what makes them Iron Man or Wonder Woman or the Dark Knight or whatever they like. This is their superpower. They know the technology, and we as the adults don't know it as well. Kids, you are wildly intelligent when it comes to applications. I have no doubt of that. But you are not yet wise in life yet. And what's happening with technology right now is that so many people, or so many kids, oh, I know how to do this, I know how to do that, yeah, I can do this and I can do that. But should you do it? Should you engage in that? Should you talk to this person? Should you do that? When should you do it? Should you alert or tell anybody? Well, that's wisdom. And you ain't going to have that at 12 or 13 years old. So that's one of the things we really talk to the communities about. YouTube, why is that up there? YouTube is extremely close to overtaking Facebook. Yes. Who owns YouTube? Google. Or, as they say, Alphabet. But Google owns YouTube. So basically, it's easy enough to do once you create an account, which basically all you need is an email address. You can just type in anything. The next thing you know, you can go on YouTube. And on YouTube, yes, you're looking at videos, but you're also doing what? You can also converse right there. You can also post. Hey, I like this artist. I don't like this artist. I like this song. I don't like this song. And then somebody can reply back to you. And then you reply right back to them, and then they reply back to you. And next thing you know, they may say to you, hey, hit me up on this link right here. I can show you this, this, and this. This is the latest, this, and this. And kids do it. Our child predator unit, and I know these guys very well because their office is like from here to that room from my office. We are that close. Our child predator unit, since January of 2013, because I came on board actually August of 2013, they are hovering at 842 arrests of child predators. And I can tell you right now, a good dose of that came from YouTube. These are folks who do not turn off. Child predator agents do not turn off. If they are out to dinner with a loved one, they're out at, I don't know, Olive Garden or something. And next thing you know, their phone buzzes, and it was that predator wanting to connect or talk or say something. They will get on that phone. Hey, what are you up to? And they will to keep that person connected, to get closer and closer to arresting that person. If it's 2 a.m. and their phone chimes and they hear it, tired, sleepy, yo, let's chat tomorrow. All in an effort to keep this person connected. YouTube is where a lot of these connections are made now. Yes, I know we may see our kids on YouTube and they're looking at Bruno Mars and they're looking at some other, I don't know the artist anymore like that. I stop at Bruno. Bruno Mars, Maroon 5. Okay, I like Maroon 5. They remind me of the 80s. After that, I'm lost. But they may be looking at music, or they may be looking at, something spiritual. They may be very well looking at something, decent, something good. But again, once you start conversing out there, who are you talking to? And that's where we like to remind people, if you are home and you notice every time you walk past a kid and they're like this, and they keep the phone to the back of you, that's a red flag. Every time you walk into a room and you notice them, everybody else is over here, but they're off by themselves, and they're doing this. Who are they talking to? What are they doing over there? That's a red flag. If they start to mention things like, oh, my cyber pal, my cyber buddy, this is my boy or my girl online, we're really cool online, yeah, I chat and talk to them all the time. Who are they talking to? If there's a video game, Fortnite, and so many other video games out there, they're connecting with, who are they talking to? Huntington County, 2014. State police brought me in on this one. 4 boys are up there online, and they're playing Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, that game's pretty brutal. Grand Theft Auto. But anyway, they connect with another kid, and they got pretty much like the headsets on. And with the headset, sometimes you can text somebody with it, talk and text, or you can just verbalize what you're saying, okay? But anyway, it's one of those things where they're like talking and online and everything, and they're playing with this kid, and next thing you know, hey, you guys play really good. Yeah, you play good too, and blah, 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 blah. Hey, where you live at? I'm out here in Malibu, California. This rich kid. And he's going to be coming into their area in about 5 days on his private jet with his dad. Yo, why don't we hook up? Yeah, why don't we meet up? Well, I'll be at this airport on the second level of the parking garage. I got the latest demos. I got the latest this, the latest that. And these middle school boys, they're all 12 and 13 years old. Oh, yeah. So they go to school bragging about it. Teacher overhears this. What are you guys talking about? Oh, we're going to meet this kid, this rich kid we met from Malibu. He's going to be in the parking garage. In the parking garage? Yeah, we got to meet him in a couple days on the second level. How does anybody in here feel about that? You start to feel really uneasy. This teacher, thank goodness she was in the presence of mind, and this is why I love teachers. She sat back, she talked to the assistant principal, he talked to the principal, and he brought in state police corporal. And they asked the boys, hey, come up to the office real quick. Hey, guys, what's going on? How you guys doing? Okay, yeah, I heard you guys met somebody online. You were gaming with, having fun. Yeah, we're going to meet them. Yeah, in the parking garage on the second level. Oh, okay. When are you going to meet them? I was like, yeah, we got to meet them in a couple days from now. Yeah, we're going to do this, we're doing that. Oh, okay. They tell you what kind of car it's going to be driving? Yeah, it's some big car. They told them the name of it and everything. So what do you think the state police did? undercover plainclothes officers, undercover unmarked cars, they waited. And sure enough, the car that he described pulled up. Was it a rich kid? No. It was two guys in a car, and in the back of that car was Clorox and bleach. Clorox, bleach, and plastic. I asked you this question. What could have happened to those four boys? We have to look people in the eyes for a living. And we are doing our best to make sure people don't become victims. And some people do end up becoming victims, and then after that they become survivors. But we're trying to make sure that it doesn't even get there. So when it comes to something like this, once again, kids are wildly intelligent, but they are not wise yet. And video games is a very big deal. The last one that's up there, you see it right beside YouTube. Looks like a calculator, doesn't it? That's exactly what it is. It's a calculator. It's a hidden calculator. Apps nowadays can hide photos and videos, and that is one of them. You think I'm telling you wrong? You can go right there on the App Store, Apple Store. You can just type in hidden calculator, and you are going to get a plethora list of calculators that come up. The last time I stopped counting a couple of years ago, about 2.5 years ago, it was about 200, close to about 230 plus calculators that are out there. And basically what these calculators do, they're fully functioning calculators. Fully functioning. You can do calculus, you can do trig, you can do scientific calculations on them, and then you can type in a code and it will take you to a branch folder that is not on the camera roll. You can check the camera roll all you like, but it's a branch folder, and in that branch folder, that's where photos or videos are hidden of things they may not want you to see. If this stuff is found on a device, law enforcement does a forensic check. Inappropriate videos and photos, especially if the kids are under 18, going to get charged with child pornography, possession of or distribution of child pornography. That law is in effect right now, has been for years. Once again, kids get a photo or a video or something like that, inappropriate, they got to be mindful. Hey, listen, if I get a photo or video or something like this, put the device down immediately and call the police, or let an adult know. Mom, dad, grandmom, granddad, guardian. But you do not go, wow, and show it to individuals, different individuals, because each person you show it to is a charge. Distribution of child pornography. So these are some of the things that we deal with. Look, these laws are very real. Technology is animation. Plain and simple. What you see behind me is simple animation. And we looked at it when we were kids. You know, we grew up on the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote and what was my favorite? Foghorn Leghorn. We grew up on them. That animation appealed to us, and it still does. Okay, now apply that to the new generation. This whole industry is nothing, and now it's 24 hours a day. It's animation mixed with videos. It's a collision of a lot of things happening all at one time. And the appeal to it is there. That's why movies that you see out here, animated movies, make billions of dollars. But there are laws to govern this. We do not want to be in your lives. Guys like myself and folks like us carry a badge. We do not want to be in your lives. We do not want to be in your kids' lives because you guys are the future. You're going to take over one day. Anybody ever tell you that? You're going to take over? It's the truth. When all of us have retired and moved to Florida, you are going to take over. I'm going to Hawaii personally, but when you're going to take over. But when something like this happens, we have a job to do. Our job is to help keep you safe, and we need your help sometimes too. To report these things, let somebody know, not just tell your best friend. Not just tell your boys or your girls, or just keep it to yourself. Maybe tell a sibling. Let somebody know so that you want to be on the cooperative side. Hey, I called law enforcement. I called the police. Not the police come in, hi, We know that this device in this house received through tracking the IP address, and each one of these has an address just like a home. Same with the phone, same with the watches, same with the computers, same with the tablets. We know that this image was sent to this IP, to this device. Now you're like, oh boy. Did you have this on your phone? Okay, what did you do with it? See where I'm going with this? So you want to be on the side of, hey, listen, we called the police to help get this stuff resolved. And hidden calculators like that play a very big role. For those of you in here who are not on social media, and I want to get past this real quick and go to the next one. There we go. For those of you who are not on social media in here, let's learn about it really quick. You know, what does it entail to be on social media nowadays? How easy is it to create a social media account? It's extremely easy. You ever hear the term user-friendly? There you go. I've been saying that since 1993. I'm really showing my age now, but I gave that up with the Hall & Oates and Wham thing. But social media, we've been saying that for years. Snapchat, user-friendly. Pretty much it's a photo, video sharing app with the twist. The media you send disappears seconds after they're viewed. You get to decide how long the photo or video will live, from 1 to 10 seconds. Well, they expanded that to what, 24 hours now? You can expand that. So the updates that are constantly happening to our devices, and boy, I can't wait to talk about that, the updates. Easy enough to do. Easy process. You can see right here, 9 steps. You download the app, type in an email address. Yahoo is still the biggest dumping ground for benign email addresses. People don't plan on really using it for much. It's been like that for forever. Don't ask me why, but it's the truth. Yahoo is still the biggest dumping ground. But you type in an email, type in a password, birthday. Why does it ask for a birthday? To get your age. Apps are always collecting information. But the honesty of typing it in, you could tell this app anything. It's not like somebody's right there on the spot policing it. But there's a reason why they're asking for age, and I'll get to that in a moment. Username. This is where people start to become celebrities. Hashtag next LeBron James. Hashtag next Serena Williams. Hashtag next, I don't know. Think of a celebrity out there, and that's that person. But this is where they become celebrities here. And once they get inside, you get to an open screen, and you go into your settings. Send me snaps, view my stories. Who can send me this stuff? Who can view it? Who can watch what I'm doing? Who can send me snaps? These settings, if they're going to have this stuff, should always be to their friends only, not to an open environment where anyone, if you got a Facebook account and you've got it pretty much unlocked as public, anybody can look at who you are and what you post out there. When Parkland lit up earlier this year, and we all know what happened with that tragedy down there in Florida, how do you think the media and law enforcement got a lot of the information they needed? They simply went on Snapchat accounts. They went out there, people were posting things all over the place. Mom, look at this video. Dad, look at this video. My goodness, look at what's happening. Open accounts. All they did was just sit back, and then people shared it on Twitter, and they kept sharing it, and boom, 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 boom. Media picked it up, so it was open source information. It was free. So this should not be free. This should be locked up for my friends only. Stories as well. And even with stories, you know what stories are. Stories are a collage of information. There may be a video. You ever have your birthday come around or something like that? You're on social media, and next thing you know, you get like Facebook creates you like a video or something like that that's of things that have happened to you over the past year. Okay, stories like that. They're just a collage of things that have happened to you over a period of time. You can set that to everyone, to my friends, and even amongst friends, you can customize that and say, okay, I only want a few people amongst friends. This is where that birthday comes into play. Okay? In compliance with the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, the minimum age to create an account on Snapchat is 13. When you download it, Snapchat asks for your date of birth, and if your birth year tells it you're under 13, you're redirected to the kids version called Snap Kids. Snap Kids users can't add friends or share anything, and the app doesn't send any information to the company. Instead, kids' photos and videos are saved just to their device's camera roll. Now, let me be clear about this right now. The 13-year-old thing, no one is policing it. When you got 100 million or a billion, more than 100 million, when you got a billion users out there, no law enforcement entity in the world is policing it. So kids can go out there and put any, hey, I was born 1963. It's like, really? You're 12 years old? You were born the year JFK was assassinated? Come on. They can put anything out there. The next line I want to talk about here before we go on. The second paragraph, first line. Snap Kids users can't add friends or share anything, and the app doesn't send any information to the company. Get used to that. Please burn that in your memories. Every app you use is sending information back to the company. It's a shared world, a share information world environment now. So whatever they're doing on there, passwords and everything, it shares it, it sends it back to the company. What have they looked at? This is all called smart marketing. And this is, people have been doing this for forever, but on the electronic side, 2003, 2004, they really ramped it up. And now with the connectivity of everything, we are all involved in smart marketing. You ever go to Home Depot or Lowe's and you buy a rake or a leaf blower or something like that? And then the next day you get all these flyers on all this other, you get all this other stuff, hey, you can buy this, you can buy that. You may have, paid with a credit card, but next thing you know, they took your information, or you could have got something from another hardware store. They sold that information to the other places or shared it. And now these other places are like, hey, maybe you'll need something from us. We offer competitive prices. That's smart marketing. Same thing with apps. It's smart marketing. It's shared. So kids don't understand that just yet. What they are doing out there online is being shared. It's being stored. And Google, they have got information on all of us that probably would make you cringe. Instagram. There's an argument with this company between them and Twitter who gave birth to hashtags. Get used to goofy terminology. I kid you not. If I had said hashtag to you 10 years ago, you probably thought I was talking about a food. Hashtag, okay, I understand the word hash. What are we talking about here? But now, hashtags, and everybody know what a hashtag is? It's a number. Okay, what's the utility of it? But you're right about that. The symbol is a number sign, but the utility of it? It's a connection piece to more information or to similar information regarding that title. So if I did hashtag LeBron James and I click on that, I should be able to go to supplemental information, videos, blogs, photos, you name it, everything pertaining to LeBron James. If I did a hashtag New York Giants, my beloved New York Giants, it would show just how lousy we are right now, and our offensive line isn't worth anything, and the Eagles are going to tear us apart when we play them. So for you Eagle fans in here, I just gave you kudos, so have at it. But anyway, that's what a hashtag is. But Instagram is a simple photo and video sharing app with a huge growing following, especially among young people. People love this stuff. They post their resumes out there. Nowadays, a lot of resumes, hey, go to my Instagram account. And they post their resumes are videos now. I know a few people who've done them already. Messiah College, a good friend of mine, his daughter goes there. Her resume is a video. Beautifully done, too. Well cut. And I'm a guy who's in IT, and I'm just like, this 20-year-old kid, she's a rock star at what she did. App is very simple. You go to the store, 92% of your apps on the market are free. I am taking into account the App Store, the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, and the Microsoft Store. Collectively, 92% of your apps are free downloads. You're going to see free, you're going to see get, you're going to see fetch, you're going to see some terminology where you don't have to pay anything, but you are paying. What are you paying with? Information. When you download that app and you didn't read the fine print in there, it told them that they reserve the right to collect information regarding your name, address, phone number, email address, and share this information. But all we saw was get, fetch, free. The large print giveth, and the small print taketh away. That is how it works nowadays. And there it is, register with Facebook. You click on Facebook, it'll take it right on your computer, it'll read the computer, it'll read the program, see if you got Facebook on it, and it'll take that information, boom, and it'll create the account based on Facebook. Same thing, and again, you're going to see a limited marriage between each one of these apps. Not hard to learn about. Enter your email address, create a username, create a password. Again, it's all about packaging. Then once you see the opening screen, you'll see something like, okay, I got that circle right there. That's the home screen, home button. And you can click on that. You can also go to the center button, which is follow people. Hey, listen, I want to take my Facebook friends and put them in my Instagram account. You can do it. It's contacts. You can do it. I can edit my profile. So, click the button down there to the bottom. The next thing you know, change up the name. You can do it. Edit the profile. I have mine, J. Mitchell Books, because I've written a couple of books. And there's another one. Anytime you see a wheel, a cog wheel like that, that's for your settings. Find people to follow, posts you've liked. Instagram Help Center. I don't imagine anybody uses that anymore. They just use YouTube. They just Google it or use YouTube. I know I do. I'm just like, let me see how I do this. But this is interesting next. Clear search history and log out. If you go on a child's device, okay, let's just say, we're all parents here. You go on a device, and okay, phone check, let me see your device. Device check, let me just see your phone. I just want to check it. Let me see what's going on with it. And you go on there, and you go, well, let me see what pages they've looked up, what they've been doing online, and you don't see much of anything. They've been clearing out their searches as they go. That is a red flag. Why are they clearing things out as they go? Now, you could argue, there could easily be an argument for storage capacity. I don't want a lot of things on my phone. Really? My friend Max called me up one day, many years ago. This was in the mid-2000s. Max is Panamanian, and we were both off of work that day. We both worked for the government. And he called me, Jerry, come over to my house, man. I need your help. Come over to my house. I got to show you something, man. I'm like, okay, Max, I'm on my way over. I go over to Max's house, and he fills me in. He gives me the scenario. My kid Josh, man, he on that computer late at night, and I hear him walking around. He on that computer late at night, and when I check the computer, see what he's looking at, I don't see nothing. He clearing it out. There's nothing on there. You tell me what's on that computer. Can you tell me what he looked at? I said, yeah, I can take a look at it. Good, thank you. I go get us a beer. I said, okay, it's the truth, he did. But anyway, so I checked it out, and sure enough, Max had been, Josh, in his search engine, nothing. There was nothing there. I said, okay. Let me go into the root, just your root directory, and let me just start looking at let me look at the cache and the cookie trail. Josh didn't have the tech savvy to clear that out. So I found hundreds of different pages that he had been looking at. Now I'm just going to let you use your imagination, okay? The kid's like 13 years old. He's a 13-year-old boy. So Max comes back upstairs, and I go, oh, thank you, Max. But Max, here's what Josh has been looking at. And I show it to Max, and he goes, I'm disappointed in this kid, man. I'm going to have a talk with him, man. I got to have a talk with him as soon as he comes in this house from his friend's house, man. Clearing out as he goes. Whether it is your latest tablet, whether it is a phone, whether it is a watch. Clearing out as they go, why are they doing this? That's a red flag. Once again, the argument can be made, well, I don't like to keep a lot on my phone, I don't like to keep a lot on my device. Yeah, but every time I do a device check, I'm only seeing make 2, 3, 4 pages, and it's been like a week, maybe a couple of weeks since I've looked on here. Maybe it's time to have that discussion. The navigation page, pretty much set up the way I've just showed it to you. Nothing really exciting about that, except the look changes up with each new upgrade. Folks, upgrades, I got to mention this before I go any further. When it comes to upgrades to our devices, and we all get them. You ever get those upgrades pushed to your device? I probably got 1 or 2 on mine right now. I'm just like, I've been blowing them off for a while, but it's the truth. I got to upgrade a couple of my operating system. You may have had certain toggles and switches turned on with your phone, with your tablet, but when you get that upgrade, it can easily turn them off. So if you have certain parameters set inside that device, be mindful that you may have to go back in there and check out to make sure those certain toggles and switches are still at the setting that you want. I just ran into our former IT director yesterday, Will. He's a good friend of mine. We're both Giant fans, yes. And me and him got into a big argument 3 years ago, not with each other, but we're both arguing at the system because these upgrades that were coming in, pushing through these new upgrades, they were turning off things that we wanted turned on. And especially for him, and he's monitoring the network for the Attorney General's office. That was huge, but these upgrades were turning things on. He had to constantly go back in there and turn things back on. So with your own devices, just like we're doing it, just be mindful of that. We're in the third quarter of this now, okay? We got into first quarter, second quarter, we're in the third quarter now. And let's talk about how this stuff can have, what we need to look out for next before we finish out with tips. Seemingly innocent mischief or communications can have real consequences in the cyber world. Social media is a way for them to take out their emotions. Life stinks, school stinks, nobody gets me, forget my life. They put that out there. Nobody understands them. Whereas they find it tough sometimes to talk to mom and dad, social media becomes their diary. Susan Klebode. Does anybody know that name? Susan Klebode? Dylan Klebode from Columbine. Now we know what I'm talking about. That kid poured his heart out in those journals. You know those composition journals that are black and white, those composition journals? And this is 20 years ago. He poured his heart out in 2 of those, where he would, everything that was wrong, his rage, his anger, what he wanted to do, everything, he poured his heart. And those things are thick. He had written front to back in 2 of those, but he would not talk to mom. There's a lot of mothers in this audience tonight. And you may have a son who's taller than you, and you don't care. You are still Mama Grizzly, and so is she. And she grabbed that kid like this and threw him upside the refrigerator. What is wrong with you? And he still would not talk to her until he went out and the other individual committed that horrible crime. Sometimes our kids find it difficult to talk to us, and they take out their emotions on social media. And you can check their social media account, and you see all these fragmented thoughts out there. So what do we do about it? FBI did a study in 2012, started looking at this stuff, and in 2015 they wrote their conclusion. One of the ways in which to get kids to communicate more, you want the simplicity of it? This is one method: get them out the house. What is home? Home is where meals are served. Home is where love is dished out. Home is where we play video games. Home is where we stay out of the elements, the cold, the rain. Home is also where discipline is hashed out. And a lot of folks in here, I can only imagine, if your kid does something you don't like, you give them the look. My mom still gives me the look. She's 70. She says she's 67, but I know better. She's 76 years old, and she still gives me the look. And I'm just like, whenever I see that look, I'm like, oh boy. Imagine you giving that look to a kid, and they're just like, oh, I'm going to get it if I say anything any further. So the solution, or one of the suggestions, not a solution, but a suggestion was get them out the house. Hey, I'm about to go to Dick's Sporting Goods to get myself a new pair of sneakers, and I'm going to stop and get a slice of pizza or grab a burger or something. Hey, you want to come along? You want to grab something? I'll pick you up something. How many kids are going to turn that down? They're like, yeah, I'll go, yeah. Next thing you know, they come, and while you got them outside, you got them in the car, you got the music playing, you got Maroon 5 playing. I'm going to stay there. You got Maroon 5 playing. Next thing, hey, let me ask you something. Be honest with me. Just keep it real with me. The other day, what was going on with you? Because you always seem like, you got something going. Okay, what was going on? It was probably a school thing, right? You'd be surprised the dynamic changes because you are outside the house. I mean, I don't think you want to turn the car into the house where they tell you what was going on. You what? You did what? And next thing you know, it's like, oh boy, I'm right back home. But getting them out the house and talking to them. Getting them outside the home. Because again, when you look at their social media accounts sometimes, they will tell their friends and they will tell everybody else what's wrong. But mom and dad are big, mean, ugly, they're ferocious. Hard to talk to. Communicating with online predators. Who are they talking to? Reminding our kids, you don't know who's on. Look, the internet is the greatest equalizer in the world. You can be anyone you want on the web. And people do it all the time. Alicia was 13 years old. She met this 15-year-old girl online. Remember back years ago when they had chat groups? Remember the chat groups from MSN? This is going back then. And they precursor the apps. But anyway, she met this 15-year-old girl, and they chit-chatted for 11 months. Their likes, dislikes, their crushes, favorite colors, what they thought was cool, what they thought was yucky, blah, blah, blah. So one day, the 15-year-old girl, I got to tell you something. Oh, never mind, forget it. Alicia's like, no, what is it? No, never mind, forget it. I know how you are. You always fly off the handle. No, I don't. What are you talking about? No, never mind. Let's talk about something else. What were you going to say? I'll talk to you later. No, don't go anywhere. No. What is it? Okay, fine. You promise you won't get upset. You promise you're going to stay calm. You promise you're going to be there. I will. Okay, what is it? I'm not really a 15-year-old girl. I'm really 39-year-old, and I'm a guy. This is a true story. What? Yeah. And they go back and forth on the truthfulness of it. Alicia's finally convinced, and she stops talking to him for about 45 minutes. Why wouldn't you tell me something? Why would you say, because when I first met you, I didn't think you would be my friend, and blah, blah, blah. You're not going to lie to me anymore? No, this is honest. But I would like to see you. Maybe one day we can finally meet and say hi, and blah, blah, blah. Convinces her to come out the house. 9 o'clock at night, one night, right after dinner. And she lived in the Pittsburgh area. In her flannel pajamas, in her fluffy slip-ons. I'd say the house was probably right back there where that wall is. And the road was right out there where the parking lot is. So she had to walk out the house, walk down the woods a little bit, walked out to the road, and there was the car. And she put her hand in, the window was down. Hi, it's me. She put her arm right there, snatched her, grabbed her. Be good. If you don't, the trunk's laid out for you. Took Alicia from the Pittsburgh area, drove down to the Virginia area. West Virginia down to Virginia. Couple of 100 miles away. Parents lost every ounce of foundational sense that any of us could have, worried about their child. They have lost it. And this individual, along with 3 other individuals, assaulted Alicia over a 3-day period. One of these animals decided to video what they were doing and sent a portion of the video to a perp down in Florida. Call it crisis of conscience, call it whatever you want. This individual in Florida contacted law enforcement. They traced the IP address and found Alicia in Virginia to this house and she was chained to the floor in the basement. And we got Alicia back. Survivor. Victim first. Communicating with the predator at the beginning. I never knew it. Folks, it can be a scary world out there. And believe me, with a strong spiritual sense I have in myself and so many people have in this room, we have to still protect our kids and protect ourselves. Alicia started a project called Alicia's Project, actually, for missing and exploited children. She's been hailed by President Bush, Obama, sheriff associations, a lot of different organizations have rooted for her, have given her all kinds of national awards. But could you imagine, after you get your child back for the next 6 months, you have to sleep downstairs every night with all the lights on in the house, not one light off, every light has to be on, and the kid wakes up screaming at times throughout the night? Google Alicia's Project and you'll find out. These things happen, so this is what we are raising awareness of, so that this doesn't happen anymore. And I've got more stories, but I don't have that much time to keep talking about them. Communicating with online predators, it's dangerous. Reminding our kids, if somebody out there, look, bottom line is this: if you wouldn't talk to a stranger outside at the park, at the mall, at the grocery store, then you don't go in the house and you don't talk to strangers in the house either. If you don't talk to strangers out there, you don't talk to strangers in the house. And that is something I preach at schools when they deploy us out to talk, to have presentations at schools. Do not talk, no talking to strangers on any platform. But the way video games are set up now, and the way a lot of the platforms are set up now, it's designed for you to communicate with any and everyone. But that does not mean you make a friend out of somebody you're gaming with. You might game with them, game over. Parents know what you're doing, boom. Bullying or being bullied. Cyber harassment, cyberbullying, minor to minor, is illegal in the state of Pennsylvania now. Since September 8th, 2015. The law was signed January 29th, 2015. It went into effect September 8th under Crimes Code 18, subsection 2709A-1. Cyber harassment, cyberbullying, minor to minor, is illegal. Conflict and bullying are not the same thing, though. I like the New York Giants. You like the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if you do or not, but today you will. Okay? You and I get into it. He and I get into it. Well, your team's this. Okay, first of all, let's time warp us back. We're both 14, all right? You and I get into it. I don't like your team. I don't like your team. Your team's this, your team's that. Is that bullying? No. He takes a picture of me while I'm walking or while I'm eating and I don't know it, and he creates a meme out of it, which means he adds text to it. Look at this New York Giant fan eating crap after his team just lost. And he says things like that, and people start posting to it and start saying a lot of little, adding colorful metaphors to it and a lot of ugly language to it, and keeps going and going. Is that bullying? Yeah. That's bullying. We have to make sure we know the legal definition of what is bullying. Just because he and I get into it because his team's going to beat the living daylights out of my team when they play, that may be one thing. But if we keep going on and on and on, that rises to the legal definition of harassment. And by the way, those fines and costs go up to $2,500 per incident. They can be costly. How many times was it done? 7 or 8 times? Judge can go, okay, I'll max it out at $2,500, or may say, okay, $500, or maybe $1,000 per incident, though. That can really add up. So just be mindful of cyber harassment and cyber bullying. It's now illegal for under 18. Online fighting can lead to offline fighting. Fight starts online. Cumberland Perry Votech. 2 boys get into it because they were playing soccer. Boy A did not perform up to what he should have, and boy B gets online the next night. Man, you did not do, you let that goal go right past you. They blew right past you. Man, you stink. Boy A, well, what about you? You didn't do this, this, and this. You could have done this. Boy B, no. You are the reason why we lost. It's you. And what happens? Boy A's mom hears her son, the commotion on the computer, or her son, oh, I can't believe this, can't believe it. She gets on the computer for him. Excuse me, this is his mother talking. You could have performed, or you could have worked out. My son is this, you could have done this, and you could have done that better. This is his mother talking. Do not talk to my child that way. And what happened? Boy B, his mom gets on the other end. Excuse me, this is his mother. You need to have a little bit more maturity in talking to kids like this. What kind of parent are you? I don't believe you would get online and say anything like this. Get a life. Where does all this come to a head at? School, grocery store, that's a good one. At school, all the SUVs are lined up, everybody's dropping their kids off, and next thing you know, the kid in the second, or they were like 4 vehicles apart, Mom, that's the vehicle up there, that's the lady who was talking smack the other night on the computer to you and me. Is that her? Are you sure? Yeah, that's her right there. Yeah, you see him? He's getting ready to get out the car. He's getting out the car. That's her car. She got out her SUV, walked up to hers, walked past everybody else, tap, 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 tap. Excuse me, I'm so-and-so's mom. You were talking on the other night. You need to be a little bit more professional. I can't believe you would say things like that. Again, you really need to back off. Window comes down. Excuse me, I don't appreciate what you just said to me. I don't appreciate, and blah, 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 go like that. Then she gets out her vehicle. And then somebody, I'm not sure which one did it first, somebody did this. The poke. The poke will do it every time. I can tell you right now, if you've ever been poked or, you get poked like that, your blood raises real fast. Your blood level goes up really quick. And then the other parent did this. 3 pokes. Who saw this? The kids. And who else saw this? The principal. And who else saw this? The school resource officer. Saw them going back and forth, saw them touch each other, poke, and both parents got cited, disorderly conduct. An online fight led to an offline confrontation. We have to be the example to our kids. I remind them cooler heads need to prevail. Whatever, yeah, okay, whatever. Blow it off, keep moving. But for 2 parents to go through something like that, I kid you not, when the principal told me that, I'm like a lot of you, after I got past my laughter, after I got past my, I can't believe this happened, and they showed me the incident report, I'm just like, what we've got to do, we've got to be the example. Something's bothering them, something's up. Oh my goodness, right about now, likes. Oh my goodness, I posted this picture, I only got 2 likes. Oh my goodness, nobody's commenting, nobody's saying anything back. And you'd be surprised how this can have a psychological change or a difference on a kid, to the point where they have a difference in attitudes between friends, family, and school. Reminding them that, look, it's just online. You still have a family here. Take it easy, cool out. But nobody likes me. I can't believe. I just posted this. Oh my goodness, she got more likes than I did. Oh my goodness, well, he got more views than I did. Take a breath, step back. It's just the cyber world. This is the real world. Don't worry about that. And in so many cases, this is going to sting a little bit, but we have to say this. 1 in 4 families in this state right now is touched by this drug epidemic. And yes, I'm talking about at the middle school age, high school age, and even some later elementary schools. Pills, alcohol, synthetic marijuana, the synthetic vaping, it can lead to that. All this, the anxiety over social media, the anxiety over being liked, the anxiety over who is seeing what's out there. Oh my goodness, this picture, somebody put this picture out there about me and it's an ugly picture. I was walking, it painted an ugly view of me. Anxiety. And they turn to something that they think will This will help alleviate the drama. Myself and Senator DeSantis, we will be going out next month, Halloween trick-or-treat night, and we are having an event where we are doing safe zone for kids, where they can come get candy that they know is safe and they know it's free of drugs. There's no drug candy. It's not laced with anything. I mean, a lot of this stuff is Hershey's donating a lot. Hershey candy, but you know those Hershey bars with the almonds in it? Boy, I might take a few home myself, but these things, but we're giving out a lot of free candy just to remind kids to have a safe zone. They have a safe zone with us. The Santos office is on board with it. I came up with it. I approached them with it. Funds are coming from our office. Grant money is coming from our office, so this is going to be a really good thing. Because too many kids turn to drugs and alcohol and pills, even at young age, because they think the anxiety of life is overtaking them. Folks, we are coming to we're in the fourth quarter, and this shouldn't be very long. Social media safety tips for parents and kids. If your kids are on social media, you should be too. I'm not talking about, again, having 5 or 6 different social media accounts, but just maybe having one. And if there's something you want to know, I heard them talk about this app, WhatsApp or Flipagram or something like that. Just Google it or go on YouTube. How do you use Flipagram? Just type it in there just like that, straightforward. How do you use Flipagram? How do you use WhatsApp? Just type it straightforward like that in YouTube to get educated with it, to get familiarized with it. Folks, expect terminology to change and never stay the same. The web, that's the way the web is. Trending. If I had told you, or if your kids come home one day and they say, Mom, you're trending online. And that goes for anyone here. I strongly advise you to get to the nearest computer and see what's going on, because that means a lot of people are talking. You are the flavor of the moment. Okay, you are trending. Terminology is going to change up. There's going to be new terms out there coming and going like crazy. Remember that term twerking? Twerking. Sometimes it's just a mixture of twisting and jerking, twerking. You know who the original twerker was? He was No, the original twerker. And I'm looking at you two because you're going to know this. He was around in 1956, 1957, and he had 2 hit records, Hound Dog and Jailhouse Rock. Elvis Presley. He was the original. Yes. So, but yeah, terminology, expect it to change up. Selfie. If I had come up to you 10 years ago, hey, can I get a selfie? You would have looked at me and you would have said, I think you better explain yourself. Nowadays, selfie is as common as breathing. Look at her, see what I mean? Go ahead. How do you pose? Do that pose again? There you go. That's a selfie, love. And they even got the poles. Now you can go way out there. You see people, poor devil, I saw him doing like this. It's true. He was on the edge of a cliff taking a selfie and lost his footing and fell off the cliff. Yeah, you look at somebody, we're trying not to laugh, but good grief, yeah. All right. If something makes your child feel uncomfortable, this is going to sting a little bit. This is the truth. Our kids are going to run into inappropriate photos, videos, and language online. It's an open source environment. They are going to run across something that's inappropriate, and we all know what I'm talking about. There's no getting around that. When they do, what do they do? What should they do? If you see something that makes you feel uncomfortable, say something. Mom, Dad, I saw something. Mom, Dad, I read something. You should be the first stop. Or the nearest adult, maybe it's a teacher or something like that. But they are going to run across something that's inappropriate online. It's an open source world. Accidentally, on purpose, it's going to happen. But if they see something that makes them feel uncomfortable, say something. Do not send photos or videos of yourself to someone online. Nowadays, everything is GPSed out. Look, I miss a Polaroid like anybody else. Remember those days? Here it is. There's the picture. Those days are gone. This has replaced it, and it is not going anywhere. And now, so have the watches. You're now taking pictures with those. So nowadays, no. And these things are GPSed out. Trinity High School parent comes up to me, explosive. Oh, my goodness. I couldn't even understand what she was saying for the first few seconds. Mom comes up to me, explosive. Her daughter, once again, 9th grade, glamour girl, get that. And what's she doing? She met somebody online, somebody she thought was really cool, and the person said, hey, take a picture of yourself. Take a picture of yourself over there. More light, more light, more light. She noticed her daughter was taking pictures of herself at entry points in the home. Her mom saw those pictures. Why are you taking all these pictures? And she noticed they're all near, not near a wall, but near the windows and near the doors. Her mom went ballistic. Who was she sending that picture to? She never even knew who this person was. Photos and videos like this nowadays, they are GPSed out. Photos will tell somebody who you are, where you live, what time you took that picture, where you were at when you took that picture. That is called location services. And that's not going anywhere. That has been around for a long time. So again, not taking pictures and sending them to folks online. We talked about cyber harassment and cyberbullying. We know that's illegal. Online cyber pals or strangers, never agreed to meet them. Once again, wouldn't talk to the strangers out there. Don't talk to the strangers in here. Kids have this mindset. Oh, I'm home. I've got a lot of brick and mortar around me. There's a roof over my head. Mom and dad are right there. The family dog is right there. Mom and dad's gun is right upstairs. I'm safe. But you are going to leave the house eventually. And when they do, have they agreed to hook up or meet someone? That's the scary part right there. Don't respond to text messages, instant messages, or emails from people who you don't know. That goes for adults too. But for kids, it's like somebody could text them, hey, what's up? I saw you today. Oh, what, you don't know me now? Who's this? Oh, I can't believe it. I saw you at the game. Oh, I saw you with your friends. Oh, you don't want to act like you know me? Who's this? Oh, where did you see me? Oh, I saw you. Yeah. I saw you. You were doing this and doing that. You were wearing this and wearing that. Make it real lifelike. But who is this person? And they never say their name. Now, that is a blueprint for disaster, to respond to someone like that. For those of you in here, I have a quick question. How many of you in here restrict your kids' devices? If you have kids, how many of you restrict your devices? In every device, you have the ability as an adult, if you're going to, hey, you want a device? Fine. Here's the device. You have the ability to go inside there and restrict it as to whether or not it will email, whether or not they can download, whether or not they can surf the web, whether or not they can listen to music, whether or not they can look at podcasts. And then, hey, listen, if you're going to look at podcasts or YouTube, it has to be restricted. It has to have certain restrictions on it, whether it's going to be PG-13 or whatever. You can put the restrictions on there, and you can Google this. It's easy enough to do, whether it's going to be Samsung, or it's going to be Apple, or it's going to be the Microsoft, whatever platform. You can restrict the device. Kids should never accept gifts from someone they meet online. Oh, yeah, I got the latest demos. I got this. I got that. Check me out. Hit me up. Yo, let's meet up. I can sell this for you. Craigslist was a hodgepodge for that nonsense. So many arrests from office came out for Craigslist. That was a hodgepodge for that. Sensible dealings like this, never agree to meet with someone. And finally, keeping an open line of communication with our kids. The world is a lot different than it was 5 years ago. 10 years ago and 15 years ago, it is much different. And technology is only going to intersect with our lives more and more. It's scaling down. And I want to say this finally. The watches are here, and they are not going anywhere, and they are going to become more and more encompassed to the point where you do not need to carry this. And the watches are going to change and look over time to more like a bracelet look. Right now, they have the conventional, always present watch look we've seen for all our lives. That's going to change. I've already seen the prototypes. It's going to look like a bracelet soon. The screens are going to get bigger, and our phones will now be on our wrist. So we don't need to carry around this anymore, so we can keep our hands free. So when it comes to technology like this, It's going to encompass, whether it's a device or whether it is an app, they're going to encompass more and more in our lives. We are committed to keeping you safe and keeping updated with the latest changes in technology. But we just need to know what's going on. Laws aren't self-enforcing. So if there's something that happens out there, please report it to your local law enforcement. Report it to the local cops. Report it to your Annville police or Lebanon police. Report it to your state police. You want to file a complaint with our office? Call our office. The Attorney General, our office number is on the back of that brochure. A lot of the things I've said and more are inside that brochure. Those brochures are not going home with me. They are staying here to hand out to your friends, to everyone. Please get the word out and hand this stuff out. It takes a village. And you have proven that tonight by the audience that has come here. This is one of the largest audience I've ever had in the evening. Truth, and that is truth. In school, and I'm really proud of that too. Even in a lot of schools, I don't get audiences like this. I don't get half the size of this. So that tells me that you all care. And with that beautiful song and the prayer she opened up with, it's going to take that to help curb this stuff, to help our kids and help our future, because you guys are the future. To help these ones grow up so they are ready to take over and keep their social media safe. Guys, I've done a lot of talking for an hour and 45 minutes. I apologize. I've gone over time. And I sincerely apologize for that. But I think it's been well worth the information. So on behalf of the Attorney General's office, my boss, Josh Shapiro, Natalie, thank you for setting this up. This has been great. I want to thank all of you for coming out on this wet evening. It was coming down pretty good out there. It looked like we need to build an ark to get here at first, but I got here safe and sound. Thank you, everyone, for this evening. Thank you very much.